Revenge as a motivation for a story can be quite thrilling. I mean, imagine a Quentin Tarantino movie without any revenge. Not only can't I, but I don't want to. And this works for video games as well as it works in any story. And we're gonna get into the real greasy, grimy, nasty stuff. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, the 10 worst acts of revenge in video games. Starting off with number 10, it's Witcher 3's Hearts of Stone. Revenge doesn't get much nastier or more petty than this. In a moment that comes almost out of nowhere during the excellent Hearts of Stone DLC. And let me go ahead and say, if you've played Witcher 3 but haven't played the DLCs, it's been like a decade. What are you doing? Anyway, so the enigmatic Gaunter O'Dim reveals himself to Geralt in a tavern and basically makes it clear he may be the most powerful thing in the entire Witcher universe. And he does it by stopping time.
Don't make me beg. More treats.
He doesn't do it at first. When Geralt enters the place, a guy stops him and wants to share a drink, and that interrupts Gaunter, which must have made whatever this guy actually is, must have made him pretty mad, because he ends the conversation with Geralt by walking over to the interrupting dude and sticks an entire wooden spoon in his eye and then unfreezing time. Part of it is he's showing Geralt how dangerous and powerful he is by, doing something that is technically physically impossible. But also the way Gaunter acts, I wouldn't put it past him just to be that petty. He killed a guy in a pretty grotesque way, more or less just because he interrupted.
What the devil? Why is there a fly in my soup? I was waiting. I had an eye out for you.
And number 9 is Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Late 2000s and early 2010s really loved plots about guys who wanted revenge. Skyfall, Star Trek Into Darkness, Captain America 3, everybody wanted revenge for something. So of course Call of Duty would follow suit and make Black Ops 2 a super revenge story. Most of the time these bad guys just want to get revenge. They come up with all these convoluted plots to do it, but never actually follow through in a meaningful way, or they fail or whatever. You got to give Raul Menendez credit, though. This guy actually did it. The interesting part about the game is it's kind of a choose-your-own-adventure type campaign. So depending on your actions, his revenge will succeed completely, or you can stop it at the very last minute. But there's no stopping the big moment in the middle of the game where he enacts his revenge against the original Black Ops 1 cast. The thing with Mr. Menendez is his life is kind of like a trauma conga line. Just one tragedy after another. They really go out of their way to justify why this guy would want revenge. I mean, an American businessman burns his kid's sister in fire. The CIA assassinates dad. They raid his house. They finish off his sister with the grenade. Not on purpose, but Woods was the guy who did it, so he's the one who's going to get some serious revengeance committed on him. It's convoluted as hell setup, but the basic gist is that Menendez does a fake prisoner exchange. They tell you to shoot the hooded prisoner who you think is Manuel Noriega. Yeah, don't ask. But he's actually Mason, the protagonist from the first Black Ops. Then Woods gets captured. His kneecaps get blown off. Fun.
Menendez!
And Hudson gets murdered, all in front of Mason's kid, David. It is dark. It is an absurdly dark scene. I mean, these games go to some messed up places, but the whole thing, this one, it's so vicious and convoluted. It's almost laughable. Like, could they actually have even made it more messed up if they tried?
Now one more must die. You, Woods, or David. Make a decision now, or in 10 seconds you're all dead.
And number 8 is Telltale's The Walking Dead Season 1. You'd think a straightforward survival series like Walking Dead wouldn't have some big twist at the end, but there's a pretty shocking revelation they saved for the final act. And for one thing, main character Lee gets bit by a zombie. That's kind of a big deal, but not what I'm talking about. What's really surprising is you find out that Clementine, the little girl Lee's been protecting, doesn't just have an imaginary friend. The person she's been talking to on the radio, real, completely real. Well, in terms of in the game world. Obviously, this is a fictional story, so not real, but real in terms. I don't know why I'm explaining this. In all seriousness, this is a pretty creepy revelation, though. And it only gets darker from here because when you actually confront the guy, it's revealed he's actually the owner of the gas station you found in Act 2. The interesting thing here is that you never actually see the family. All you see is an abandoned car with a lot of food. Your group's starving, so they take all of it, and the story just keeps going from there. But now at the end of the game, you learn the owners of that car were just out and you stole all their stuff, and it led to the wife and child getting killed by zombies. Only the husband remains, and he's been secretly following and watching Lee from a distance, and now he wants to take Clementine away as a form of revenge. He also believes he's the only one that can protect her, but let's be real here. This is for revenge. The guy's clearly got a screw loose at this point.
The hungrier we got, the more she blamed me. Until she finally took our daughter Elizabeth and left. They didn't get far. I found them a day later in the road.
I mean, he's carrying around his wife's head in a bag. I don't think he's thinking clearly. He's got Clem locked away and plans on killing Lee. The whole scenario is pretty sadistic. He's mostly just trying to torture Lee by reminding him of all the mistakes he's made. The one thing this guy didn't count on is that Lee is already a dead man walking, and Clem is a lot more resilient than he thinks. It's a climactic moment that's both a surprise and feels earned in a way a lot of late game revenge reveals don't feel earned. And while he doesn't succeed in doing anything, you still hate this guy because the bond between Lee and Clementine is the glue that holds the story together.
Hey, honey. I think this is all gonna work out.
What are you?
I'm glad too.
And number 7 is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Okay, enough mushy stuff. Time for something a little dumb. If you got any experience with San Andreas, you know what I'm talking about already. The mission deconstruction where CJ buries a man alive for catcalling his sister.
Who said this to you?
The construction workers up that hill.
I'ma f him up.
Nah, hold up. I got this. I need to go teach him a little respect, huh?
That's right.
He didn't threaten her. He's not some major bad guy or anything. Just some rando Carl decides to kill in the worst way imaginable. The whole mission sticks out because normally CJ's pretty sensible. But in one mission in the middle of the game, he's just suddenly a total psycho. All that happens is Kendall comes in mad. Some construction worker disrespected her, and CJ's first thought is to jump in a bulldozer, push the foreman's porta potty into a big hole, and fill it with cement. That sounds like something like
Trevor?
from GTA 5 would do, not CJ. And I think that's why it sticks out in people's memories. I think Rockstar just thought it would be funny to have a mission where you wreck up a construction site. That's probably the most thought they put into it. Like, sometimes the GTA stories are pretty good and well thought out, and sometimes they're kind of, an excuse to do something, and that's what this is. If you look up disproportionate retribution in the dictionary, this mission is it. I guarantee they came up with the mission first and then came up with a reason for it second. And number 6 is Mortal Kombat 11. While the base game ends on a super happy ending where all the heroes win, the Aftermath DLC, it ends on a darker note. Sure, it's fun to see Shang Tsung chewing the scenery, being the most obviously evil guy who's 100% going to betray the good guys, but they just keep going along with it anyway because they're dumb. But when the betrayal actually happens, it kind of messes up. The darkest bit happens after they revive Shao Kahn, who arrives at the ship with all the good guys and just starts wrecking house, getting revenge on everybody. He defeats Kung Lao, throws him in a sea of blood, which you can never die in, so it's basically an eternity of suffering.
Tell me, did your masters teach you to swim?
Then he beats up Liu Kang for defeating him in Mortal Kombat 9. Also takes down Kitana for killing him in the main story. And then they really rub salt in the wound by having Kitana and Liu reach out to hold each other, only for Khan to smash Liu's hand. And then, in one of the grossest things in the story mode, smashes both of his legs with a hammer. And I'm talking compound fractures here, huge chunks of bone sticking out. It's a nasty revenge. It's kind of hard to watch. Unless you're one of those Liu Kang haters, then you probably love it. At number 5 is Metal Gear Solid. For a series as convoluted in plot as the Metal Gear Solid games are, you'd think there would be more revenge, but there actually really isn't. Or if there is, the revenge is either against abstract concepts or made intentionally unsatisfying, like with Metal Gear Solid 5. I'm mostly focusing on revenges inflicted on the protagonists on this list rather than the ones they inflict. So for this entry, I do want to talk about FoxDie, the virus injected into Snake by the US government in secret that was designed to specifically target the members of Foxhound that were the ringleaders of the Shadow Moses incident. This special virus uses nanomachines, so it only activates on certain individuals. It's a silent assassin essentially made to bury all the dirty little secrets where they stand.
Snake!
It's mostly a government project, but there is a revenge twist. The doctor who administered it, Naomi Hunter, actually secretly hated Snake and wanted him dead. There's a whole lot of drama bombs dropping during the later portions of the game. It's enough to make your head spin, but this moment sticks out because of Jennifer Hale's emotional performance. By the way, yeah, Jennifer Hale is Naomi in Metal Gear Solid. Big twist is that Naomi made it so the FoxDie virus would eventually kill Snake as well. She was actually Gray Fox's sister, which Snake killed Gray Fox back in Metal Gear 2.
I was alone for so long, until I met my big brother. And him.
Your big brother?
Yes. Frank Jaeger. The man who you destroyed was my brother and my only family.
No. Gray Fox?
She wanted revenge against Snake for killing her brother and for Big Boss, so she injected him with the virus that'll kill him at any moment.
You must have programmed that thing to kill me too, right? Do I still have time?
It's a pretty messed up thing to do to a guy. Snake knows he's going to die from the virus someday, just doesn't know when. Could be in 30 years, could be in 30 minutes. That's bad enough, but in Metal Gear Solid 4, it's revealed that the FoxDie in Snake's blood is evolving into something that could potentially kill the entire human race. Doesn't actually happen, but pretty hardcore revenge. And number 4 is Lost Judgment, another complicated one, so try to follow along here. I'm going to try, and keyword here is try to simplify things. There's a lot going on in Lost Judgment. Primary theme, though, is bullying, how it can ruin people's lives, and how this often dangerous behavior is ignored or dismissed by society. The central villain of the game is Jin Kawana, a vigilante who specifically targeted bullies. What he did wasn't necessarily revenge-related, but how he did it, oh, it is. See, his origin is that he used to be a teacher. There was bullying going on in his classroom. He mostly ignored it, think he was just kids being kids, but then a student that was being tormented jumped off the school roof, and that changed everything for him. He was actually trying to put together evidence before the student's death, but he was too late. He saw his job and saw the students who caused the death mostly get off scot-free, so he devised an appropriately convoluted scheme as befitting this game's Yakuza spin-off status. He waited till all those bullies grew up, had stable jobs and happy lives, then used the evidence he collected of the intense bullying they engaged in to force him to do his bidding. Adults had a lot more to lose than kids. He used the bullies to kidnap other bullies, who he would then serve up on a silver platter to aggrieved parents who could murder them.
You see your killing spree on these former bullies like you're doing the country a service. In your eyes, this is vengeance. Actually, no. You'd call it justice, wouldn't you?
Jin would cover this whole thing up. He's just doing it because he hates bullies. But the people he's got working for him are all former bullies, basically press-ganged into service to perform even worse crimes. It's a complicated but impressively messed up kind of revenge. You gotta respect the hustle.
Toshiro-kun was okay. I didn't know he'd kill himself. I really didn't know. I swear I'll try to make it up to him somehow. I'll spend the rest of my life making up for it. Stop it.
What the hell?
And number 3 is Mad Max. Enough esoteric revenges that require paragraphs to explain. Here's a simple, straightforward revenge for a simple game. In the opening of the game, bad guy Scarabus Scrotus steals all of Max's stuff, so Max stabs him in the head with the chainsaw. Max escapes, Scrotus somehow survives and swears revenge. That's the story. Funny thing about the game is that Max doesn't really care about this guy. He just wants to get an engine so he can ride off into the desert and finally forget the nightmares haunting him. Eventually, he does start to warm up to people, including a woman named Hope and her daughter Glory. Max even imagines himself getting married to her, so yeah, it's not going to end well. Sure enough, come the end of the game, you return to the base only to find that it's been ransacked. Hope is dead and the little girl Glory has been tortured. She dies in Max's arms. The bad guy killed them, hunting for Max.
Come on. Come on. Okay.
Nobody will remember my name.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will. I'll remember. I promise you. No. No, 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 no.
Lord Scrotus likes to take his time!
It's your standard kind of revenge, but for a game, this is pretty dark. I mean, they didn't just kill the few actually sympathetic characters in the game, they horribly tortured them, and then they died. On top of that, everything Max was trying to do the entire game was rendered pointless. He doesn't get the engine, and the people he meets are all dead. I mean, at least you kill this bad guy, but the taste of victory is like ashes in your mouth. Pretty bitter ending. Even for Mad Max, honestly, pretty bleak. And number 2 is Final Fantasy VI, one that gives you a pretty good impression of the kind of bad guy you're dealing with. In this classic SNES RPG, Kefka, the clown, that guy's a real shithead. And you know it from his first appearance, where at first he seems like a bumbling idiot, sent to hunt protagonist Terra, who's hiding in Figaro Castle. Edgar manages to get him to back down after mocking him, only for everyone's favorite clown to wait till nightfall to set the whole castle on fire. One hell of an escalation. There's supposed to be a peace treaty between the two nations, but he just ignores it and attacks the castle, all just because the king didn't show proper respect. By the end of the sequence, Kefka still comes off like a total chump. They manage to save the castle and the heroes get away without any real issues, but serious overreaction here. They send a guy on a diplomatic mission to just look around. He ends up trying to burn the whole place down. And that's like the first and probably least of Kefka's many atrocities. The big difference is that he's actually trying to get revenge here. For everything else, there's basically no explanation other than he is a massive dick. Assuming, that's all it is. He doesn't have one. Otherwise, he wouldn't act this way. Compensating, all I'm saying. Do small dick. Do small dick. And number 1 is The Last of Us Part 2. What else was going to be number 1? Seriously. This is the most recognizable, controversial, and memorable act of revenge in recent gaming history. I'm talking about Joel. Spoilers for a game. The game's a few years old at this point, but he's dead. They kill him at the start of the game. It's revenge for a lot of things, for killing all the fireflies at the end of the first game, for potentially dooming mankind by killing what would have been the last possible doctor capable of coming up with a way to stop the infection, more personally for killing Abby's dad, who was that doctor.
This is our future. Think of all the lives we'll save.
Joel's death, which is, by the way, at the start of the game, so it's not like you go too long before finding this out. It's pretty brutal, though. They shoot him in the legs and then beat him to death with a golf club. It's extremely messed up and hard to watch. I don't want to linger on too much because it's kind of a downer, but I had to mention it. It's pretty iconic in terms of revenge.
You don't get to rush this.
I do have a bonus here for you. Saints Row 2 has this entire Brotherhood mission chain. It's basically a prank war that went way, way too far. An endless series of revenges that get more and more depraved each time. It's absurd, but it's a little disturbing if you actually consider the implications of it. For real. Don't do it for too long, though, because it's Saints Row. I'm not going to cover everything because we'd be here all day, but some of the highlights are you secretly putting radioactive waste into the Brotherhood boss's tattoo ink, so half his face gets burnt off. And then there's a part where you kidnap the boss's girlfriend, you throw her in the back of a truck and leave it in the middle of a monster truck rally, so the Brotherhood boss inadvertently kills his own girlfriend. It's a lot, and somehow you're supposed to be the good guy in this situation. I mean, wow. Anyway, that's all for today. Leave us a comment, let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications, and as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter and book me on Cameo at Falcon the Hero. We'll see you next time right here on gameranx.